What's going on, guys? So today I want to start off a little bit different. Today I want everybody to go and like the video, and if you're new here and you're not subscribed to the channel, if you enjoy this video, I ask that at the end of it you remember to go subscribe to the channel. I ask this for a reason, right? When you like the video, it helps to push my video out to more people. YouTube recommends it to more people who are looking through the same categories. That will help my channel grow. Hey, I'm just a regular guy. I'm a tiny channel. I still work my day job. I still live a normal life. I take time out of my day to record these videos so that I can talk to you guys about my thoughts. And it would mean a whole lot to me, if you could just like the videos and comment, talk to me a little bit. That's all I'm asking for. If you could do that, that would be great. Now, let's get into it. I'm sorry about the audio. I know it's a little rainy, but Bryan Kohbergers, public defender from Pennsylvania, has spoken about the case. He's spoken about what he believes the arrest affidavit has and what it needs, what it's missing, how the defense can shred it to pieces. And that's pretty interesting to me. I mean, I feel the same way. I felt this way the whole time. I know a lot of people get very upset with me when I go to talking about what Brian's defense can be. Remember, this isn't me trying to say that I don't think Brian did it or that I think Brian should get away with it. I'm just talking about the possibilities of reality. Beyond a reasonable doubt is beyond a reasonable doubt. If Brian can introduce a reasonable doubt that he committed these murders, then he cannot be found guilty. Let's look at this News Nation clip between Ashley Banfield and Brian Entin, and we will discuss what they're talking about.
That public defender who represented Kohberger immediately after his arrest. What have you learned?
Last time we saw the public defender in Pennsylvania, Jason Labar, he was with Kohberger in court. I was in the courtroom, but he had not seen the 18-page probable cause. So now he has. I asked him what he thought about it, and he says he thinks there are holes in the probable cause.
So this is what people have been really upset at me about, by pointing out the holes in the probable cause. This is circumstantial evidence, all but the DNA.
He is questioning the phone pings. He says that those pings are not specific GPS coordinates, and he says the defense can have a field day with those pings, calling them out.
Exactly. The phone pings are not putting him in a specific location. The phone pings are saying he used towers in this area, so he had to be somewhere in this area. It really depends on how many cell towers are around. So how close they can say that he was here or there. Now, they do have him on the Wi-Fi, right? According to Harsh Reality yesterday, I saw that his phone had picked up on Wi-Fi some of the other 12 times that he was in the area. So he would have to be very close, if not inside the house, to pick up on the Wi-Fi. But if that's the case, if he was inside the house, was he invited? Has he been there? Because if he has been inside that house before, then he can say that he does not own that knife sheath, and maybe he touched it while he was there. He's already shown that he has an interest in knives. There's already been somebody on Facebook saying they sold him some kind of $350 fixed blade Spyderco knife. So, if he's interested in knives, and there's a K-bar knife there, and he was in the house, invited into the house, and he touched that knife sheath, that could explain away the DNA. That's what I'm saying. It's all about what his story is. This is why I say his background in criminal justice and criminology really gives him a benefit. It's not about him defending himself in court. It's about the stories he can tell, the reasons he can give, the way he can explain things away that make sense, that can't be proven beyond a reasonable doubt that he came in and murdered these 4 people.
He is also questioning the description of Kohberger from the surviving roommate, that description that she says was, you know, the man who is about 6 feet tall and the bushy eyebrows. He says it's just not specific enough.
Again, this upsets people for some reason. But when you point out that Dylan had been drinking, had been asleep, was woken up by noise, looked out her door, saw an intruder in her house, she said she froze, kind of went into shock, right? So, if she says, yeah, he was about 6 foot tall, 185 pounds with bushy eyebrows, okay, Is that accurate? Why didn't you go in and call the cops? They're going to shred that in court. A good defense attorney is not just going to say, oh yeah, well, she saw him and she freaked out because she was a scared college girl. They're not going to say that. They're going to say, if you felt like he was an intruder, why didn't you do something about it? If you paid that much attention to him and you saw him that well and you knew you didn't know him and he's walking through your house enough to scare you at 4 o'clock in the morning after hearing all these noises and stuff, how did you not go check on your friends? How did you not call the police? Did you really see him? Or were you just drunk? Were you dreaming? Anything. The defense is going to destroy that. I'm just saying. This is not about your feelings and how you feel and what you want to happen. This is about reality. And I'm sorry if that doesn't align, but reality is reality and there is nothing we can do about it.
And I asked him about the statement. Remember that statement that he initially put out right after Kohberger was arrested? Very interesting. Kohberger had a lot to do with that statement. Listen to what he told me. The statement that you released from Kohberger, where he, said that he was innocent, essentially. Did you write the statement with him? I don't know if you can share how that statement came about.
Went out to the jail at 5 o'clock. I knew it was dark out, so I could essentially sneak in under the cover of dark and be able to talk to him without anyone knowing that I was actually there. And I spoke to him for about an hour. I let him know that I wanted to get a statement out there because with all of the news media, I knew there was going to obviously be issues as far as him receiving potentially a fair trial.
This does not mean that he cannot get a fair trial. I absolutely disagree with that. I believe he can get a fair trial. They may end up having to move the trial, being a small town like Moscow with so much national attention, but he will be able to get a fair trial. He will not get off for that.
Automatically, you worry about the presumption of innocence and the integrity of the criminal justice system. So I said, Brian, is it okay if we get a statement out? And that's when he brought up the eager to be exonerated language.
That was him who wanted to put that in.
The eager to be exonerated was the language he used. To me, when we talked about it, it was more or less he was asserting innocence, but that's the language he used.
So like I said, his background is definitely going to be a part of this case. He is definitely working on his story and what he wants to tell and how he plans to talk through everything they have against him. He's going to have a reason. He's going to have an excuse. He's going to have something to counteract everything that they have to say about him. It all depends on the jury and how well the prosecution does and how well the defense attorney does. This is not an open and shut case.
This is the kind of thing we have to deal with every time there's a high-profile crime and a high-profile defendant. Every time we've covered a Casey Anthony or an O.J. Simpson or a Jodi Arias, there's the issue of how to pick a jury where everybody knows everything about the case. And by the way, you can, because they all had fair juries. They all found juries.
He will be able to get a fair trial. He will not be able to get off for that. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Remember, subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Have a great day, and we'll see you later.